What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into my Week 10 NFL predictions. Let's dive into it. Starting out here first with Week 9, what I got right and what I got wrong here. Starting out with the Thursday night football game, Steelers-Titans, got that one right, a wild game. Pittsburgh was just barely able to prevail in that one. So a good win on Thursday night for them. Then we had the Dolphins and the Chiefs. In Germany, I picked the Dolphins to get the win there. Their offense came out slow, in a tough Germany atmosphere. Tough loss for Miami for sure there. And then we had the Rams against the Packers. Did pick the Rams to win this one, even without Matthew Stafford. Packers showed up in this game. They played like the better team, and the Packers got the job done. So as you see here, just not a good start at all. I did pick my Seahawks to beat the Ravens. The Ravens quieted our mouths a lot in this game. They really shut us up. Big win for Baltimore, and an unfortunate loss for my Seahawks. Then we had the Falcons game against the Vikings. Another pick wrong to fall to 1-4 with that loss. The Falcons just were the better team. The Vikings were the better team. Even with a backup QB and Josh Dobbs, they come out, they get that win. So even on the road too, Josh Dobbs just getting there. So that's a big win for the Vikings and an unfortunate loss for Atlanta. Then we have the Browns game. I got that one right. The Browns dominated the Cardinals. Did get the Patriots game and the Commanders game wrong. New England not able to win that one. I think they should have won it, but I think they played like the better team, but unfortunately they lost that one. Did get the Saints game right. At least I got that one right. Right there. Let's see. Okay, so got the Saints one right. Did get the Texans one right, just barely in a crazy one. Texans win it. Did get the Colts game right as well over the Carolina Panthers. Not a surprise there. Patriots, Raiders, the Giants, Raiders. Giants won that one. Lost that one. I picked the Giants to win that one. Got that one wrong. They did not show up in that game. Did get the Eagles one right there. So that's a good one for Philadelphia. Did get the Bengals one right on Sunday Night Football. A weird game in that one. Bengals were the better team, though, and they got it done. And then finally, the Jets game. I did get that one wrong against the Chargers. The Chargers just came out, played like the better team. Jets weren't able to score a touchdown. So I believe 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, 6-3, 6-4, 6-5, 6-6, 6-7, 7-7 on the week. Not great after my 15-1 performance in the previous week. So let's see if we can bounce back. That leaves me with an 89-47 record, which I'll take for sure at this point. That's a pretty darn solid record. Okay, let's get into Week 10 predictions here. Starting out with a Thursday night football game, we have the Chicago Bears taking on the Carolina Panthers. Two 7-loss teams battling it out. I mean, just an interesting game here. The Panthers offense, just not been it this season. And the defense is very much underperformed. Justin Fields, I think, is going to be back for this one. I am going to go with the Chicago Bears. I think they have a more talent in general than the Panthers. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if somehow the Panthers won this one. But I am going to go with the Bears in this one there. All right, and then we have the Colts and the Patriots. 2-7 and 4-5 in Germany for this one. Going to be an interesting game to see how these teams play in Germany. I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Belichick comes out with a good game plan across the pond. But I am going to go with the Indianapolis Colts. I think they have much more talent. Honestly, at this point, I think they're a better coach than Bill Belichick's squad. That's weird to say that a Colts team is better coached than a Patriots team, but that's how I'm saying it right now. the Colts, I think, come out, get a win, and advance on to 5-5. So a big game there for them. Texans, Bengals, interesting game. Houston, CJ Stroud's been looking great. This week, he's going up against a very tough defense, though, here in Cincinnati, and a red-hot Bengals offense. It's going to be tough. We saw what Baker Mayfield did to this Texas defense last week. I do think they have some pieces there. I think they're well coached with D'Amico Ryans, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one. I think they're the better team, and they're going to get the win over Houston. Whoops, didn't mean to click that one that fast. But next up, we have the Saints and the Vikings. Very interesting game here. I could see this one going either which way this week. You look at the New Orleans Saints this season. A team that's been kind of turning things on with a, offensively. Derek Carr's playing good football this week. You look at the defense for the Saints, has been a very good unit. Same thing for the Vikings. They've been a decent unit this season. Not the best, not the worst. Just an average unit coming from one of the worst units last year. So that's really speaks to Brian Flores. And then Joshua Dobbs, as we mentioned last week, comes in, leads this team to victory. Is Justin Jefferson playing? I think that's a huge factor in this game. He's unlikely to play Week 10. So I am going to go with New Orleans. I think they're the better team at this moment right now. I know it's on the road in Minnesota, but 2 5-4 teams. I think they're going to have enough in this one the way this offense has been playing. So give me the Saints. Okay, then Packers, Steelers, 3-5 against a 5-3 team. You look at the Steelers this season. They've been a really solid defense. It's crazy that we can see the Steelers advancing on to 6-3, and I honestly think we do. I just don't think Jordan Love and this Packers offense is going to do really anything in this game. Even last week against the Rams defense, they weren't great, especially in that first half. I'm going to still go with Pittsburgh. Steelers win this one. Kenny Pickett will do enough, and the Steelers are going to move on to 6-3, I think, for Mike Tomlin's unit. Okay, Buccaneers, Tennessee Titans, Tampa Bay Bucks, 3-5, 3-5. A big game for these two teams. Will Levis going out, playing really good football last week. I am going to go with the Tennessee Titans in this one, honestly, guys. I know it's being played in Tampa Bay. Honestly, at this point, though, I think that last week game, Baker Mayfield played good. But I think this Titans team is better coached at this point. I think they have these defenses are close. This game can really go either way. I am going to go with the Titans, though. I think Mike Vrabel's coaching is better, and it's going to be enough. Whenever you have these tight matchups, coaching is a really big factor. So I'm going to go with the Titans to move on to 4-5. Buccaneers continue their losing streak. That'll be 5 straight losses if they lose that one. All right, we got the Niners and the Jaguars. A lot of people picking the Niners in this one. Trent Williams is still injured for this game, which, again, a big, big factor. Brock Purdy has struggled without Trent Williams. Deebo Samuel is coming back this week, so that's a big return for the Niners. And then, obviously, getting Chase Young is also big. So all of those factors in there, the Niners are going to have a good game, I think. Both these teams coming off byes. Jaguars, their defense has played really good. I think they'll play pretty good in this game as well, especially that pass rush against this Niners O-line, which I think could be a big factor in this game. I'm going to go with the Niners, though. I think at this point, this Jaguars team is due for a loss. They've won 5 straight games. It's a very tough game against the Niners. The Niners, I think, are due for a win. Coming off a bye, I just trust the Niners team a little bit more than I do the Jaguars. So that's why I'm going to go with San Francisco. Okay, Ravens, Browns here. A 10 or a 5-3 Browns team taking on 7-2 Baltimore Ravens. Ravens, man, they've been dominant this season. It's hard to pick against them. Cleveland's been a very solid team as well, though. Deshaun Watson's back, so it could be an impact. But the way the Ravens beat Seattle last week, I just don't really expect the Browns to come out and win this one. I am going to go with the Baltimore Ravens here. I just think they're the way better team. Honestly, at this point, I think they're a more consistent defense, but it's going to be a defensive battle for sure between these two. All right, and then the Falcons against the Cardinals, 4-5 and 1-8. Kyler Murray is returning this week, so that could do something for the Cardinals. This game probably will be competitive with Murray in there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to go with Atlanta. I think that Taylor Heinicke is going to have enough in this one, starting for the Falcons. So, I think the Falcons' overall team is much better than the Cardinals. I think they'll get a big win to move on to 5-5 on the season. Okay, then Lions and Chargers, interesting game, 6-2 versus 4-4. The Chargers are kind of turning things on the past couple weeks. Sunday night football game against the Bears, and then we had a Monday night game that the Chargers won. So, Chargers are turning things on right now. The Lions coming off the bye week, been a little bit more of an iffy team the past couple weeks. So that's something to look out for in this game. They are coming off the bye week. This is an interesting game, guys, because I could for sure see the Chargers pulling off an upset. The Chargers have got to prove at some point that they could beat a winning team. You know what? My gut tells me the Chargers are going to win this game. Lions, 6-2, been a very good start. I'm going to count them out, though, in this game. I think that Jared Goff hasn't been playing great the past few weeks. I think he's coming off a bye week, which is a big factor, but it also could be something that can affect teams, sometimes in a negative way. So I am going to go with the Chargers. Let's see if that's correct for a big upset pick at home. All right, Giants, Cowboys. No really need to analyze this one. It's in Dallas. The Cowboys coming off a loss. I think they should bounce back in a big way. But the most Cowboys thing to do would be losing this game. Not going to bet on that, though. Give me Dallas. All right, and then we have the Seahawks, Commanders. I'm going to be in Seattle for this one. As a Seahawks fan, I'm hyped up for this one. We have the Seahawks and the Commanders. I'm not going to pick against my team. On home turf when I'm going to be there. I've been to 2 Seahawks games. We have won them both. The Broncos game last year, if you remember that Monday night football game, Russell Wilson's return, went to that one. We won that one. Went to a Niners game in 2021 in Seattle. That was also a really good game. We got the win there from a stop in the goal line on Jimmy G. But anyway, the Seahawks, I think, are the better team over Washington. They're going to win this game. I think they're going to bounce back in a big way with this defense. And Washington, been an off and on team each week. This is going to be their off week. Give me Seattle. All right, and then Sunday night football, we have the Jets and the Raiders, 50% in this one. Interesting game. Jets get another Sunday night football game. I'm going to go with New York. I think they're going to bounce back this week against the Raiders. Raiders have talent. I wouldn't be surprised if they win this one. But Aiden O'Connell, not a great quarterback. I think Zach Wilson, this offense has got to figure things out. This Raiders defense has some pieces, especially Max Crosby, really that big part of that defense. But I think that if anything else, the Jets defense will do enough, and the Jets pull off the win. So picking the Jets again on a primetime game, even if it's in Las Vegas. Then we have the Buffalo Bills against the Denver Broncos. People counting out Denver again on this Monday night football game. Only 4% of people are picking the Broncos here. I was one of the 3% that picked them to beat the Chiefs. Interesting game. I think this one's going to be closer than a lot of people will anticipate. I think Russell Wilson and the Broncos are turning things on as of late. The Bills might underestimate them. They've been that kind of team this season to underestimate teams, but I'm not going to pick against Buffalo at home I think they're due for a win to move on to 6-4. So give me the Bills. But going to be rooting for Russell Wilson and the Broncos in that game. All right, anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your predictions. And anyway, guys, peace out.